on lichess and Twitch, International Master William Pascal. We're playing our Weird Wednesday stream. I'm going to be taking challenges from our subscribers and some other friends here. International Master Sparkle Horse on lichess.org. Weird Wednesday. It's Weird Wednesday. And we're going to be taking challenges between 5+3 and 7+3. It's 5:30. It's time to start. Mr. Bob, Mr. Coffee, and Mr. Acerbic. My name is Bill Goichberg, and alright, no, I'm not really good with weird voices. Not my thing. Anyway, Macro Panda and myself are here. Yeah, you have to know that the guy that organizes chess tournaments in the United States has a really weird voice. The most recognized chess organizer would actually talk like that. No, you can't have a... I can't do it. No, I'm not even going to start doing it because I can't do it well. I'm not good with imitations, so... Once in a while I'm right, but about 90% of the time it sounds wrong, so I'm not going to do it. Anyways, we're going to be taking challenges 5+3 through 7+3. Try to be entertaining, guys. Weird openings Wednesday. My trainer, Sensei Joe, is down for a few days. We're working on some new ideas. Cooking up some home recipes. Mr. Coffee, what's up? So let's take some challenges. Let's get some challenges out there, guys. You're on a diet. 2 bills even. lichess.org. Don't accept any substitutes. Only the most handsome and brilliant streamer here on lichess, myself. Acerbate challenges. Challenges. Okay. I'm sorry, there are going to be no refunds. Even if you get food poisoning in the first round, you can't have half your entry fee back. Absolutely no exceptions. I'm sorry about your food poisoning in the first round, but Acerbate 7+3. Again, guys, we're going to be taking any kind of subscriber challenges first. Well endowed. You wish you knew just the truth, but that would be for another kind of stream. Acerbate, what's up? So, weird openings, bang, knight h6. In honor of my recent analysis. Yeah, I was trying to do, it's a very weak Goichberg imitation. Charlie Hurtan does a better one. e4, knight h6. I was just analyzing this. That's the Goichberg voice. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Acerbate just takes on h6. I was just telling my friend Joe, this is like the worst way I can play this position. Literally, right off the gate, like out of the gate, whatever, kind of over the gate, through the gate, under the gate. Acerbate does the worst thing you can do. Basically, take and play e5. I think that e takes d is actually decent for white. And knight c3 is another good way to play, but when you go e5, it's probably the worst combination. We basically get like a good advanced Caro-Kann / advanced French here. Mr. Coffee, a tournament player from the United States, is familiar with the sound of Bill Goichberg's voice. And I will never let him live it down. Refusing my discount for the time when I got food poisoning during my first round game, and refusing to even consider giving me part of my entry fee back. Never forgive him. He's a good businessman. Alright, queen b3. Acerbate, bring it. Specializing in trying to trade queens. The pawn amoeba. Pawn amoeba coming to unleashing the amoeba. You can do that. That's actually kind of cagey of Acerbate. And what's the best move? e6. Rook a5. Rook a5. Pawn Whisperer told me rook a5. I'm not even drunk. I knew you would play that move. I could just feel it. Bang! Psych, tricked you. I never thought it was possible for him to actually play b4, but it was possible. In fact, likely. Do you guys know the TV show Fargo? Does anybody like that series? There were like three years. They've done the show. But this one actor, I don't know his name. I really liked his voice. Acerbate's not giving up. Not giving up. All seasons were great, but the first season was better than the other two. No, it's not like one of those total fails. I disagree. But the first one was better than the other two. But it's like a lot of things, I think, sort of psychological. The movie was pretty good, too. I recently spoke to a Hungarian woman who had seen Fargo, the series, and not known that it was a movie. I was like, you know, it was a movie first, right? A lot of people don't know anything much. All right, Acerbate. I'm going to take the pawns. You've been to Fargo. Heard of it? You never watched it? Really? Wow. The movie or the show or both? Well, the first series is really good because Billy Bob Thornton is just an amazing actor. You can't really go wrong with him being in the first part, but then his character died off, so that was it. Acerbate. Anyway, I'm getting distracted talking about movies and stuff. What's up, guys? I'm the only Billy Bob Thornton fan you've ever come across. Really? Wow, that's weird. He was great in Sling Blade. That was actually a movie from the early 90s that I saw in the theater. And that's when I first really realized what a talented actor he was. Anyway, you know, you're probably into those hot new stars like the good-looking, you know, young bucks that you like, Mr. Bob. All right, Dimitri Luss, Seth Courtwright, big money. Okay, Dimitri Luss is not a subscriber. Seth Courtwright is sort of a subscriber. He's definitely supported the stream. So we'll take him. Big money is next. Blobix. Blobix missed the tournament. Guy's a legend. Alright. D4 knight f6. Try to keep it family friendly here. D4 knight f6 c4. Weird openings Wednesday, guys. We'll play the Budapest. No, that's everybody knows that. That's not weird enough. Maybe a snake Benoni. I don't feel like I've had good results with the snake Benoni. We'll give it another shot. We don't have a new eBay listing for today. I took the day off from eBay. What happens if you do the snake Benoni without making the exchange first? It's like an accelerated snake Benoni. You subscribe to my store. Wow, my first store subscriber. No, today was busy. I had too much chess stuff, lessons and videos and stuff I had to record, so I didn't have time for eBay. It's really sad. I didn't even tell my friend Joe about eBay. Well, knight b5 is not a threat, right? So we just castle. I guess technically if you're a vendor, you have a store on eBay. Is that what we're saying? Fuchsia. Benko's too standard. I didn't even greet Fuchsia. Fuchsia resigned her correspondence game against me today. Very, very disappointing, Fuchsia. What happened? You just like lost concentration, got bored with the game? Because you were doing fine and then you like lost a pawn and resigned. And just, I guess, you were bored. Crazy women are the worst. I don't really understand the context of that. Crazy people are the best. You got bored. That's what I thought. That's the problem with correspondence chess. Probably doesn't go well if you can't stand a long game. Behind every fat man. Very possible, Bob. But it's much more exciting to have a crazy girlfriend, wouldn't you say? That's why I always avoided having a chess playing girlfriend, because I thought they were crazier than the normal ones. But I mean, at the end of the day, maybe it just doesn't matter. Yes, couldn't look at it. It was like playing the London system. Can we do a queen sack? Let's check, kids. Knight takes e4, bishop takes d8, knight takes c3, check. And now, what's the best move for white? Pretty much any inner position, we're going to be playing knight takes queen. And then we get to recapture, so we can take this. Greed is good. That's not always the case, but I think in this case, greed is really good. Now, can we do knight e4, bishop d8, knight c3 check, bishop e2, knight takes d1, and then can white save, or we'll use the word salvage operation, their bishop, some sort of bishop salvage. Well, anyway, it's fun. Let's go. Don't take anything for granted, kids. Black contest spider. Any advice for me to be better in chess, please, guys? Dump your girlfriend, divorce your wife, you know, just basic fundamentals first. And then, you know, you can concentrate fully on the game. But no, we're always serious here. They call me Mr. Serious. I'm the inventor of serious. The inventor of a lot of things, but the inventor of the sarcastic use of the word serious in our chess name handle. I was Mr. Serious. That was my old chess handle on another chess site. But serious, I didn't manage to copyright it. All right. So now white is down a pawn, but still active. We got to be a little bit careful here. Queen e8. I wouldn't call that the most natural square for a queen in the world. Would also rob my rook of a retreat square. So where do we put the queen here? Anyway, the serious question, Black Contest Spider. Advice to get better in chess, please, guys. You got to play. You're 1500. Play regularly. And study. A lot of people who were born in the last 20 years or so don't realize how valuable, like, you know, printed chess books are. I think in the modern era of YouTube videos, and I have a YouTube channel, a lot of people think that's like an adequate substitute for studying like real chess books. The answer is probably no. You know, I think that you need to really put a lot of time in and study the game seriously. So, another thought. But there's no substitute for playing as well as studying the game. And I don't think the videos are enough. It's kind of like a get rich quick scheme, you know. All right. I'm a little concerned about this. My development is seriously lagging. That's our major worry in this type of variation, actually. And I'm also running out of time. Queen c7. This is concerning. Well, we're not saying it's impossible, Bob. I'm just telling you what I think, you know, the optimal way to go about things is. There are always going to be exceptions. Yes, you can become a master by playing Blitz in Washington Square Park. What kind of master will you be? Probably one that's like, you know, 99% based on tactics and, you know, not very deep. But the answer is it depends, right? Bishop takes h2 check. Mate in the middle of the board. Take first, think later, right? That's Willie Hendricks' theory. I don't know about that, but we'll do it. Light square bishop is a monster, a dead one. It's like Merle Dixon. It's going to be coming back from the grave, but literally, I said many times, pieces that are hemmed in, blocked out of the game, they come out with a lot of vengeance and anger. The Hammer point of view, Hammer time. He says he's mainly improved at chess playing Blitz online. Look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I played a lot of Blitz, and it played a large improvement. It played a large part in my improvement, okay? But at the same time, I would be lying if I said that most of my improvement was due to playing Blitz. Now, obviously, it's a different era now. There's like, you know, John Ludwig Hammer has played chess like online since the onset of his career, whereas I didn't have online Blitz until I'd already been playing for 7 or 8 years or something like that. Maybe it's a little different. So the Hammer point of view. Spending 5 minutes on one move better than playing an entire 5-minute Blitz game. The answer, I don't know. I think that you should learn to play both long games and Blitz games. But Vinnick would argue that like long games are more important than Blitz games. The deeper you think, the probably more long-term gain it's going to have. Chess isn't tic-tac-toe. It's not meant to be played, thoughtlessly. So I think it takes time to get good at chess. Playing longer time control games is probably going to be important. All right. So it looks like S Courtright is still got lingering compensation. Move 11. Karpov at Max Slugie's summer camp last year. So you should play games long enough for you to be able to generate new ideas. That's one way to put it. Double attack. I mean, I'm not a materialist. Probably we should consider just giving the c5 pawn up. I may not have a lot of options, really. Was Karpov a great Blitz player? He wasn't a specialist. No, but he was never, I'm sure he was always pretty good. He never played much, though, Blitz. I don't think that Karpov played much Blitz. Lobby said he was a fantastic Blitz player. Look at this move. The move from hell. Queen e3. Like, he was aiming at my c5 pawn. Now out of the blue comes the move from hell. It's really disturbing. I don't think that Karpov played Blitz as much as a lot of other players, though. But he was so strong, he probably didn't need to, Just automatically good at Blitz. If you're that strong, period. You don't need to play that much. There's no way he could not be good at Blitz. Look at this guy. Rook takes f3. What is going on? Terrified. What a game by White. Conceptually. What just happened? I just continue to be confused. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just playing Connect 4. I mean, this isn't even chess. Damn, dude. That was a really nice game by White. I mean, I say that all honesty. You had pressure on me the whole time. A lot of interesting ideas. Probably White was winning or close to winning at some point. Luckily, I was able to pull it out. Adolf Anderson was a great Blitz player. I don't go that far back. Was Blitz a big part of Karpov's training in the 50s and 60s? I absolutely doubt it, dude. Absolutely doubt it. Move 11. I don't think so, dude. I mean, it's possible. All right, big money. So we're taking the subscriber challenges. $31, not even a thank you. Bob, what's up? Big money's donation? What? What are you talking about? What? I missed it. Percy Hepworth donated 403 bits. Well, I didn't see it, Bob. I simply didn't see it. Did Big Money just make a donation now? On the live streaming donation? I'm not watching my own stream, Bob. You guys have to tell me. So I don't see the alerts. Did Big Money just make a donation? 36 viewers. Big Money. It's coming through now. $31, $31.66. He just donated $31.66. Actually, Hissidon's donated as well the other day, $7. So Big Money, wow, $31.66. Thank you. Incredible donation. We're actually playing him now. So Bob, sorry about that. But did not notice there. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but it was $31.66, Bob. You got the number wrong. If you want to be technical about it. Nice pocket change. That's 3 6-packs. Almost. 3 6-packs from Big Money. It was Big Money. All right, Big Money. We'll give you a money for your run. We've got money for our run, our beer run, but now we've got to give Big Money a run for his money, literally. All right. So weird openings. D4 B5, little Polish defense action. You can turn on sound notifications. That's a good idea, not Fisher, but I generally keep the sound turned off. I should probably like wear a headset or something while I'm streaming. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea, though it's not very... I should just get some earbuds or something. That would be the most logical thing to do. All right, D4, B5, G3. Maybe we can use some of the donation to buy a pair of earbuds. And can listen to the sound without disturbing you guys. G3, Bishop B7. Again, though, thank you to Big Money. Monster donation. Chess openings from the Twilight Zone. I like Bishop G5 against everything when the opponent plays stuff like B6, G6, G3. Basically, inconsequential moves. I think the Bishop G5, Bishop G4. A second monitor. I do in Budapest when I have a poker set up in Budapest where I have a second monitor. Here I don't. The second monitor, obviously, you know, is an idea, but I'm not playing a lot of online poker anymore. I haven't had need for 2 monitors. Oh no, that's our international master house sitter. He's disturbing the making himself heard. International master house sitter, we heard you. Disturbing the wind chimes. Got our secret trainer. A good St. George. Well, this is actually transposing to something pretty normal. Second monitor, good idea, but I think just some earbuds with a little sound might be better. That's how you view your donations when you stream. So guys, weird openings. I don't know what you call this. I think you just call it the Polish defense. You know, I was thinking about that a couple weeks ago. Simple question, simple answer. It's all different versions of the Polish defense. The Polish defense is actually pretty good. Speaking of Karpov, little known fact that Karpov did occasionally play the Polish defense. In fact, d4, b5. I have this weird feeling, I have a memory of seeing like Karpov play it against, a game where Karpov played it against Spassky. Bloby, do you know anything like that? Does anyone else know Karpov? I never played f4 that I can remember. I'm not a Dutch defense player. And Bird's opening never really appealed. It actually appeals to me less with white than with black. But I have played it here on my stream. This variation is interesting. Black's playing like it's sort of like b4 against the Grunfeld or something. Queen b6 is a normal type of idea in these lines. Bobita, you don't remember Karpov playing b5? I think he did, because I have a friend, an old friend of mine, who actually taught me how to play more or less. My first really good chess playing friend, and he was a huge Karpov fan, and that's why I'm sort of indirectly influenced by Karpov. Not entirely, but I have some Karpov influence because of my friend, who later became as good as 2200. He basically got to master level and quit playing. He was like the biggest Karpov fan in the world. Possibly move 11. Possibly, but I have the feeling that definitely seems playable. But that's what I talked about maybe before. That was played against me by Tomasz Gelashvili in a tournament. Knight f3, knight f6, g3. I never played g3 there too, and I was just like tired. Why so serious tired me out. He tireded me out in a tournament game in the morning of a tournament, and then I had to play Gelashvili the next game, and I was so tired from the first game that I literally like forgot what I was doing, and I played like knight f3, knight f6, g3 for some reason, even though I never do that. And before I knew what I was doing, I was like, oh, g3, okay. He played b5, and I was like, oh my god, you just refuted knight f3, g3, b5. It's brilliant, but it makes sense. Anyway, let's concentrate on this game here with Big Money. I don't really want to release the tension, Big Money. You made a nice donation to the stream. I want to give you a good game. It feels like I'm selling out if I give up the C pawn for the D pawn. Alyoshin, if we looked at this like an E3 Grunfeld, like E3 would be a good move. I could just play knight C6, I guess. Kind of makes sense. I'm just going with the flow here. Should chess be taught in universities? Too many British masters used to think about their openings. But I mean, Miles and Bassman can't really be compared, I don't think. Tony was just an amazingly... They're both creative, but Tony was just a much stronger player. And not quite as ridiculous as Bassman. You know, he didn't play like A3, H3, or H6, A6, or the Grob. You know, I mean, most of Miles's openings were within reason. You know, that's basically what I'm trying to do here on Weird Wednesdays. Play openings that are within reason. I mean, if you look at Miles's openings, what was so ridiculous? He played knight c6. He played the St. George was like the weirdest thing he played. He played the English defense in a time when it was relatively new. He played a lot of stuff, but most of it very reasonable. Whereas Bassman like went over the edge, and I mean Miles played what else? The GF Caro-Kann. You know, so everything that was kind of just on the borderline. I think he knew the line when things became like really bad. But I'm a huge fan of Miles, and I was fortunate to get to play him, at least online, a number of games. And I did beat him once, which I'm proud of. Though I lost several games. He probably won like 3 to my 1. With a couple of draws in rapid chess. Basman I never played. But Miles could also play really... Oh, there's a great chapter on Tony in the Sadler book? Wow, I didn't know that. So the book about... But wait, what book are you talking about? How many books have Sadler and Regan written now? Are we talking about Alpha Zero? Or are we talking about something else? They just came out with a big Alpha Zero book. My friend Joe has it. I don't know if it's here at the house or not. But he was talking about it. Or did they do a book about Miles? I never played Johnny Hector. I mean, I know all about him. You know, he's legendary for his openings. I never played in Sweden. But it's still on the agenda. But I don't think Big Money should hate his position. Like, when I faced Gelishvili, I should have played either this way or a King's Indian attack. Instead, I did something stupid. Chess for Life. Okay, the one before the Alpha Zero. No, I don't know it. This is just weird now. Well, I mean, chess videos are good if you don't have time to read books. But I don't think they should be a substitute. Our librarian is lurking. He's lurking around somewhere. I keep hearing him making all kinds of noises in the other room. It's like having an elephant wandering around. Some large raccoon in the living room. There it is. I expected that. We were just waiting for this. So let's just cross your fingers and pray that knight g4 holds here. Or we could try something more experimental. You only live once. So my name, you know, that's a good question about my name. I assume it has French origin. I mean, it actually has Latin origin. If you want to, as my friend Adrian Casillas pointed out, Pascal is Latin for Easter. So if you really want to search for its deeper origin, right, it's older than French or English or whatever. Bloby knows everything. Yeah, he called me the Easter Bunny. I'm basically, I'm a bunny and I'm easy to beat, so I'm the Easter Bunny. But why did you bring up Johnny Hector, the weird openings? Yeah, he's a specialist. Specialist in weird openings. So Pasha. Pasha sounds like the short form of Pavel or something. Jurassic chess. But I don't know how my name came to be spelled the way it's spelled. I don't know that much. It's a more common name than you would think if you look it up in the United States, like telephone book or something. It's not quite as rare as you would imagine. As I discussed with Bob last stream, there's like an American baseball player with the same family name. Surprisingly. Yeah, what's a telephone book? What's a telephone? Soon we won't even know what a telephone is anymore, ironically. That's the scary thing. Forget about just a telephone book. Kids would be like, what is a telephone, Daddy? You mean my communicator? Is that like a communicator? So my name is quite common in England, apparently. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that I guess they're actually English relatives. I have English relatives on both sides, German relatives on both sides. Basically 50-50. Strange, but yeah. You would think it would come from France to England, and the spelling was converted to a more English type of, acceptable English sounding type of spelling. That was always my theory, anyway. So, beware of peace sacrifices. I was looking at Queen A1. We're fine. Jokers. Big Money, thanks for the donation. Prolific in forcing themselves onto conquered peoples. Bob's doing Wikipedia now. Genealogical week Wikipedia, it looks like. Forcing themselves. Bob. Implications again. We have no need to force ourselves, Bob. Very attractive. Attractive peoples. Fortunately, was not so cool. Dude, I spent a car ride with Adrian Michelschisen once. He was definitely of the same opinion. Not a big fan of Korchnoi. We were having an Edward Gufeld Blitz tournament yesterday. Another not so popular person. Well, don't worry, Asterbait. He was a great player. Nobody's gonna disagree with that. All right, Bob. You're scaring me now. So, thank you for the donation, Percy Hepworth. But like in discussing here, Korchnoi, I just annotated a game today from the 1977-78 candidates final between Korchnoi, obviously, between Korchnoi and Spassky. And I thought it was a really nice match. I always appreciated this match. I have a collection of like all of Korchnoi's games, going back to, I don't know, his earlier half of his career, like up until, I don't know, basically 1980, something like that. And I mean, the dude was a tremendous player, and he was seemingly more motivated than Spassky. I mean, maybe he wasn't stronger, but he wanted to win. He definitely wanted to win more in that match. This was the second game of the match. And it was a weird match because I looked at the rundown. It was like, what, 17 games. Korchnoi started something like +4 halfway through the match, and Spassky almost came back. Spassky came back to just one game behind, ended up losing anyway. But, I mean, this is something that, you know, I kind of missed that era. I didn't actually play chess until after that match started, obviously. Look at Big Money getting tricky here. I just thought, since you were mentioning Korchnoi. Queen b2, take, rook b1, bishop takes c3. There's some interesting lines here. Even bishop b2 is possible, believe it or not. Bishop takes, knight takes e6. Bishop takes, knight takes e6. Also rook takes, which threatens nothing. Oh, it does. Rook takes, losing a piece. Almost. Rook takes. Same thing, different day. Oh, in between secret move. I just dropped a piece. Wow. Big Money gets the win. Gets the win. I got confused. Man, that's a good move too. What happened? I dropped a piece. I had no move there. Well, he deserves a win. He made a good donation. I want to see him do a bishop and knight checkmate. That's what I want to see. That's why we're not resigning, Bob. Our stream deserves bishop and knight checkmate. Don't we? I mean, don't we deserve that? Every good stream deserves a bishop and knight checkmate. Or not. It's a draw. Yes. See, but here you get flagged by lichess. I had this game like last week where, nice job, Big Money. I totally missed knight b5. I mean, nice surprise there. I totally panicked like a deer in the headlights when you played knight b5. I literally couldn't find a move. I mean, maybe there is no move in this position, but wow. It felt like there should be a move for me. I guess I missed something like that just wasn't there. This is so weird. Check this out. So knight b5. Actually, I missed rook a7, first of all. I expected knight takes e6 here, which is a draw. But instead, he comes up with this move that just totally freaked me out. So if I hadn't panicked, I could have played any normal move in this position. Any normal move, I'm fine. I just freaked out. It's weird. Any winner should give 1,000 bits. Any Sladgie winner should give 1,000 bits. No. What was I saying? Guys, I got distracted. Well, Big Money, I mean, you should have found a way not to let me trade off every single pawn there. I should probably have to sacrifice my bishop for the last pawn if you play that perfectly. I have the feeling. So, I don't know. I just panicked here. I had 7 seconds left. 11 seconds at first, but I mean, why couldn't I at least play like bishop? Actually, bishop a8 doesn't work. The concept of the back rank mate, you know, or the threat of rook c1 I had seen before, but for some reason I just got confused. Good job. I mean, good job saving a worse position, you know, and then you should have been clearly better, but Blobix is up. Blobix, Sakamano. Who else are subscribers? Save a Dog, Ferrum, Lutzis. Ferrum, Lutzis, the 3-5 is a weird time control. I mean, if you want to play, that's fine, but reverse those numbers to a 5+3. Man. Alright, I'm a little foggy-headed here. How's my stream doing? Alright. Wow. But anyway, Big Money, thank you for the donation. Sorry for not reacting, but Dimitri's a kid or something, never subscribes. I don't know, some people, you know, they just don't want to subscribe. That's alright. You know, pays your money, as Arthur Bisgeyer said, you pays your money, you takes your choice. Blobix is strong. We've got to play weird openings today. The f4, someone asked about f4. f4 just transposes to the Grand Prix attack. I mean, it just doesn't seem like an independent opening. I want to play something kind of fun. So we'll play e4 and give him the bird. Now the bird always just turns into a closed Sicilian. It makes me crazy. Which I hate the white side of the closed Sicilian. We've got to play some kind of interesting variation. Sometimes I play a3. I mean, anything that's not d4 is almost like a closed Sicilian, right? Last time Blobix played the Sveshnikov, I have an idea. Maybe he'll repeat the same thing. This isn't really a weird opening, per se, but if he repeats it, I want to try something here. Well, actually, Chestweeb's friend, you know, Borostanish, once played knight f5 in a game at the first Saturday. I was like, what? And he like crushed his opponent. Borostanish, when he was like an IM, had this game in Budapest. It was like knight f5. I was like, what? You're not supposed to be able to do that, you know, but he has some special preparation. Well, the Chess Dweeb is like 3 different grandmasters, right? It's technically Nizhnik's like account, but Danish and other people play on the account, right? But I don't understand how knight f5 works. Like, it's not clear to me. But somewhere, this is my idea anyway. Somewhere along the line, I saw a strong player play this. This is my weird opening idea for Blobix. The voluntary knight retreat in a Sveshnikov with knight a3. I have the feeling it was an Israeli grandmaster that I saw do this, but I can't remember who. But anyways, it's hard to come up with new ideas in the Open Sicilian. Thanks to the Nydorf. And Open Sicilian. No, I mean, I want to play, you know, the weird opening can be, you know, within a main line opening, a new idea. Knight a3 is, we don't have to play, like, weird openings on move 1 or 2 necessarily. You know, it can be something a little further in. I mean, this knight a3 is a basically very completely, not completely, but very little known idea. Doing knight a3 voluntarily. Throw black a curveball, essentially, to make a baseball analogy. Weird novelties Wednesday. Not a novelty, but not very well known. Okay. But some of you might know or might not know that in the original days when the Sveshnikov was first played by Larsen and others, you know, like, what should I say? I guess like bishop g5, right? a6. Against bishop g5, a6, knight a3, bishop e6 was a very common line. Larsen. Bishop e6 is a good idea anyway, I'm sure. But let's go with the flow. Knight a3 is more of a troll opening. Unchanged. Immune. They have immunity. Fighting for the d5 square. Make the d5 square great again. Is d5 a strong move there? Knight c4, d5, bishop takes f6. D takes c4, queen takes d8 check. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. Blobix obviously knows what he's doing. It's not fair. Well, I don't really like playing bishop f6 unprovoked, but it's certainly a move. It feels wrong. Another idea is bishop c4, maybe. I mean, if we really want to be weird, we got to try to find the weak point in Blobix's game. He seems strategically good, very experienced. Maybe he's got some tactical weaknesses. Somehow. Thematically playing for the d5 square. Okay, guys, it's Weird Wednesday. I'm trying to experiment and play some different stuff. It may not be entirely sound. Now it's the question of knight takes e4, potentially becoming a good move. Possibly. Castles, knight e4, knight e4, bishop g5, queen d6. Or I could just play bishop f6 as has been suggested. I'm a little worried about Mr. Knight here. So we can't mess around too long, I guess. One of the morals of our story here. We need to get the knight. Someone on sound is here? Thought he was on a long trip for work. I guess I could hold off on this, but I don't want to hold off on this too long. I need to get my knight great again. Seriously, my knight is ill. Feeling ill. It wants half of its entry fee back for getting food poisoning in the first round of this game. but it's not getting its entry fee back. Got messages. We've got hate mail from Trump fans. Guys, don't forget to donate, support the stream. We had today Percy Hepworth donating 207 bits. And of course, a streaming donation. Did I miss anything else? Streaming donation from Big Money. Percy Hepworth. Now, Queen D5, it would develop a piece. Queen D5, Knight D4, C3, Queen D5, Queen A5, that's fine. Queen D5, Bishop G5, Queen D5, Knight B4. Queen D5, Knight D4. My knight is still Ilinchich. My knight is still Ilinchich, but it's a little bit hopeful to get back into the game. Classic Sveshnikov-ism. It's a guardian. Jim, thank you for the donation. I love you guys. So, subscribers first. Bob, Save a Dog, and Ferrum re-challenged us to 5+3 through 7+3. I like the 5+3s because we can play more of them, but I'm not going to insist on it. This has been our regular range. Give you guys a little bit of a range between 5-3 and 7. All right. Do we have a problem with the B2 pawn? Because we could consider Queen B2. It's probably not a problem. This queen has maximum range. Free range queen. 8+3, the reason I fell in love with you to begin with. Make Nakamura face. Well, now that you put it that way, Bob, you fell in love with my stream, was what you meant. We don't want to go through another Kara-Kleij explanation. Like, Nefedov seemed kind of salty yesterday. Is he here today? He was getting grumpy. He was angry with Infinite Flash Chess. I guess it's late, though, you know? I mean, for those players in Europe who are watching the stream, let's say right about now, it's 12:20. Let's say you're like a middle-aged parent and you have a couple kids. It's easy to get kind of grumpy at this time of night, I suppose. So I'm not going to judge anybody. Far be it from me to judge anyone. But does he hate Infinite Flash Chess just because he calls him Count Nefedov? I mean, really? Is that a reason to... I don't get it. There must be more to it than that. I mean, I don't mean to gossip on my stream, but I just didn't understand it. Need a new brain. You're not the only one. I need a new enforcer of the D5 square. That's what rooks are for. It's all about D5. This is the Sveshnikov. It's all about D5. And not just the Sveshnikov, but particularly the Sicilian or even the Spanish. I mean, any kind of opening where black structure is based on dark square pawns, like e4, e5, or, you know, e4, c5, we're often looking at a d5 weakness. Sveshnikov is the best example of an opening where this is the key point. But as I've alluded to in the past, luckily my a2 pawn is protected. As I have mentioned in the past, make your knight great again. No, seriously. The D5 square, the book, the greatest chess games, what is it? The most instructive games ever played. I thought I had a copy of it here, but I'm looking on my bookshelf. That's weird. I thought I had one right available, but I guess it's in Budapest. Two of the games in that book by Irving Chernev are D5 square Sicilian games. This is a very, very important point. We've got two avenues, Main Street and Fifth Avenue, basically, for the knight from C2. Beavis and Butthead. Are you threatening me? He's not threatening me, right? This is just... It's just not. Just a routine developing move. You got it upstairs. It's descriptive. Yeah, probably. I mean, the cheap... I don't know if you have the same editions in the UK, Percy Hepworth. We have the cheap, you know, Dover chess books. I don't know if they were exported over to the UK or you guys have your own printers. Maybe they had different versions in the UK, but the ones in the United States are definitely any chance for a queen trap. Blubix is doing well though, you know, staying afloat here more or less. We all float. What is it? Stephen King reference. We all float down here. He's staying afloat with this active counterplay, which is the whole routine that you're normally looking for. Basically, the Sveshnikov is supposed to be about giving white the d5 square and playing around it. You know, that's like the entire idea. But I wouldn't want to be, you know, black here against like Nick DeFermian or something. I've seen that routine before, and it's not fun for the player who's black. Black has a kind of lasting slight disadvantage here, which is not fun. But objectively, it's probably close to equal. Anyway, we'll try to take Blubix out somehow. Very classic Sveshnikov, every time. B4. B4 reminds me of that book, in fact. I don't know if A3 is the best. B4 was interesting. He's just going for it. The outside passed pawn. I go for the outside passed pawn. Secondary advantage. The principle of two weaknesses. Sayer of generalities. But it's arguably that's a brilliant move by him. Isn't it? Player of G3. Man, Blubix is strong. He's in some trouble here, I think, objectively. But I have to play very well to take it down. Take it down! I guess I could have played Queen B3 last move. Still a good idea. Multiple ideas. Thrive on principles. So do I. I mean, that's my entire game is based on principles. I'm a good calculator, but I'm not great, you know? I mean, better than most, but I'm not a flashy tactician compared to some masters. We want to pile up pressure, maximum strength. He's hanging on. He's hanging on, guys. He's played some smart moves that are just kind of under the radar here. He prevented me from playing Bishop C4, which was like massive. Actually, a massively important idea. he would have been gone like right away there. If he had let me have time to play like bishop c4 and consolidate the queen side. Was he sacking a pawn here, or he's seen further? Takes, check, king g2, rook b1. I guess he just sacrificed the pawn. Do I really want it? I want it. I got rook d1 too. Ops colored bishop though. We don't want to do that. I've got rook d7. So, I mean, this is really good. Bishop d5. There's also just rook d2. He's fast, isn't he? Was that a good idea? Okay, it's technical endgame. We need to talk to Magnus about this. Jeez. How come he can move faster than me? It's like a classic Sveshnikov. Why didn't I check him there? He's gonna hold. It's always an exchange sacrifice. Usually breaks them down, or just like a one move oversight. Man, that was a tough endgame. It would have been really tough. It's usually an exchange sacrifice for the second pawn that would have taken him down. In my experience, the decisive blow is always the knockout exchange sacrifice for the defendo bishop. So you got like one pawn, an ops color bishop and rook endgame, and then you sack the exchange for the second pawn, and you create like a second principal weakness. It was a really tough position. I mean, maybe Blobix could hang on, but it's hard. Okay, guys, thank you for the games. I'll be seeing you later. No, I'm just kidding. I'm still here. We're still here. It's a good stream. Great donation from Big Money, and we've got lots of our friends here. So, any other players who are subscribers that I don't know about? Secret subscribers, basically. Thanks for the game. I suffered a lot. That we aim to please. Your suffering is at an end, my friend. I'm sorry that Blobix didn't get play in the tournament yesterday because he was unwilling to play 5-0. I also want to note that tomorrow night is our Thursday night subscriber stream at 5:30. So I don't want to forget to send a message to let everyone know who are subscribers to the stream. Let's start with D4 and come up with something interesting. This is Bob's beer that I'm drinking. Again, cheers, Bob. Leffe Belgian beer. Bob likes blondes, and I like beer and blondes. So we have both. D4, D5. The London system. No. Let's play the Black Mardimer Gambit. Little known suggestion here. Knight h6 against the Black Mardemer. My friend Joe suggested that's actually, if you play Knight h6 now, the Black Mardemer declined with Knight h6, you transpose to my 3 a.m. defense, which is pretty cool. Fact to know about. Bob was never prepared for this. Subscriber stream note. I will send a note to the subscribers that we have the subscriber stream tomorrow. So if you are a subscriber, Fuchsia is like really into this opening apparently. Declined. The BDG is a disorder, Fishrat Cow. It is a disorder, and actually it's ironic, but one of the biggest supporters in the online database that I saw was this guy who's like a correspondence player. Maybe he's not a correspondence player. It was a guy named Trumpf. Like Trump's original name. I just think it's kind of funny, isn't it? This is like the Saruman defense or something, where they could play bishop f5. Interesting. I almost never play this opening on my stream, but I think I might have actually had something like this once. So it looks like what Yasser would do against the BDG. Fuchsia, it's like a meme. You're like a meme. It's like, I've studied that. That applies to basically every opening, right? Like, we could say any opening, you'd be like, I studied that. I'm still so sad that you resigned your game against me. The BDG is not sound. The raccoons are back in the living room. This is a strong raccoon. Alright, G5. So, in all seriousness now, we've weakened our king side a bit. I don't really want to trade pieces here under the wrong circumstances. Like, okay, f takes e, knight c3, bishop e4. That doesn't look right. You studied this. Yeah, I don't think the BDG is a great opening, but I guess for blitz and bullet chess. But honestly, in the hands of a very dangerous player like Lev Zilbermintz, just kidding. No, seriously, there are some weird players who are like lifetime devotees to this opening. There was this one guy, I don't know if he's still around, but he was like an expert, a USCF candidate master, and he only played this opening like his whole life. It's pretty scary. They become obsessed with the Black Mardemer. No, this looks like a sound approach by Bob, though. Bob getting more rational. Okay, I'm going to play strategic chess here. Sound strategic chess. C3. Strengthening my strong point in the center. Asterby, why did you bring up Wesley So? Does he adhere to the Black Mardemer? I guess if nothing else, I can play Queen D2, Queen G2. A creative maneuver. One of the few openings that don't have a reversed version. That would be interesting. Well, I think Black would have to... White would have to lose some tempi to do that, yeah. Very calm, safe, solid, collected looking setup here by Sakamano. He's basically playing for c5, which is the right strategic idea. If h4, Willie Hendricks again. Move first, think later. Isn't that it? I mean, I'm seriously a little bit concerned about c5. What would David Bronstein do? Bob, you should definitely start hanging out with Nefedov. He likes to offer draws in blitz and stuff. I mean, I don't do that, the draws in blitz, unless it's like an arena or something, like yesterday. against the Brazilian guy, I, you know, was taking draws for strategic reasons. But in general, I mean, I'm gonna try to win against low-rated players. You're like trying to provoke me. I think Nefedov tries to do the same sometimes. Provoked me. 2,000. That's a good rating. Welcome to my stream, guys. Tomorrow night, subscriber stream. Please submit your games. If you're interested in analyzing a game, you are a subscriber to the stream. Please submit a game and send it to my account here, Sparklehorse on lichess.org. Fuchsia, that includes you. No resigning early anymore in our correspondence games. What is that? There's a smell in the air. All right, h6. Interesting. Maybe the best move. Oh, I'm getting... Yeah, screw you. California. Bye-bye. What was that? Missed call. Yeah. Sure. Getting lots of California calls this time of night, usually. Very important. It's a call for Amy. We know why Amy got rid of her phone number now. I mean, that's for sure. It's amazing. Uh-oh, it's happening again. It's from a new one. This one's from Pennsylvania. I'm going to answer. I got to answer this. Hello? No, this is not Amy's number anymore. Amy gave her number up because you were calling her too much. Now a new person has her number.
Okay, I'm sorry for the trouble today.
That definitely came from Sri Lanka or something. It said Pennsylvania. All right. I love trolling the callers. Sorry, Amy had to give up her number because you've been harassing her too much. They called me from California, then they called me from Pennsylvania. 5 seconds later. They contacted their agents. You distracted me, lady. I should turn off the vibration. I should just turn off my phone. Period. Sorry for the distraction, guys. In what format do we submit games? Just a link to the game on lichess is optimal. I would appreciate it if you want to add some annotations or something. Dragon. I would appreciate it, but it's certainly not required. Am I going too far? I've crossed the line. Whenever I see Dragan, I think of my friend Dragan Kosic. He's a good guy. Really good person. I've met a lot of really amazing people through chess. You know, maybe I'm not rich, but I've met some really cool people. That makes it all worth it, guys. We have our online support group. Yeah. It's a classic name in Serbia. It's a cool name, though. Okay, h5. Yeah, he's Serbian, too, but he played for Montenegro. He's a free agent. F takes e4. So, man, this is starting to look good. Bob basically just... Bob made his donation. Some of us donate bits. Some of us donate pieces. Some of us donate cash. Bob donates pieces and beer. Everybody to each his own. We take donations in all quantities and varieties. But Bob doesn't have enough pieces left to do any real damage with here. And now, of course, Queen is almost trapped. This is kind of a weird move, but it's good. It's good. I mean, theoretically, I could get in trouble on the F file, but it's not going to happen. There's no time for that. Wealth is measured in many ways. Very wise for Masturbate. Would you like to trade queens? Oh, creating a study is a great suggestion from Puksha. Actually, I wanted to say that. She read my mind. And don't forget to like Fuksha's studies here on lichess. She's got some cool opening studies. Bob's staying active. And that's important at his age. Important to stay active at your age, Bob. Now he just got fancy play syndrome. I'll take a rook, Bob. Reminds me of a game show. Girls watch the stream. Well, I don't know about girls, but they're definitely women. Okay. Queen F3. Let's go. Next. Wolf Sing. Save a dog. Alright. Save a dog, Ferrum Lucis. I think I'm too young for the teenage crowd. I mean, too old. Oh, wishful thinking there. Too young for the teenage crowd. Save a dog, 1698. Subscriber is where, as well as Ferrum Lucis. Tricky fish. It was lucky. It was lucky you survived that long. Actually, you were doing great. You were doing great. Just got carried away. Carried away. Save a dog. Weird openings Wednesday. So what can we come up with? Independently unusual openings. Like what? I don't play the Grob. I don't do the Grob. It's like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. He's don't dig on swine. We don't do G4 around here. Knight A3, is that the squirrel or something? I like Knight A3. We could play that. That's cool. It's not weakening. I like that it's not weakening. This is our second knight on A3 today. I've never played this really, but I'll do it just for kicks. How can we make this good again? Benoni, King's Indian. Basically reverse Benoni or King's Indian. That's going to be, I mean, you could play C3, Knight C2. But, I mean, I think the best way to do this is try to make it work through a reverse Benoni or King's Indian. The Grob is just bad for white. Some of you guys were talking about, like, Gareev the other, doesn't he play, like, the Grob? Sorry, I couldn't play the Grob. I would prefer to play H4. The Kadash Gabor was a Hungarian master. I don't know if he was a FIDE master or just a regular, like, national master, but I never got to meet him, but he was legendary for playing H4. But I like H4 better than G4 because H4 weakens less squares than G4 does, honestly. And I think that's more important. Like, you could say, oh, the Grob mobilizes your bishop, it can go to G2, but you're weakening two key squares at H4 and F4. So H4 doesn't weaken the position as much. Every pawn move you make weakens your position. It's just a fact of life, guys. Get over it. Penguin plays in Bullet. I had this sudden flashback to, like, Pingu when you said that. Like, wait, is there a Pingu episode where Pingu plays chess and he plays Knight H3? I understand what you're talking about. Pingu, I am. Okay, A6 trying to play against my knight on A3, obviously. B5 would be kind of embarrassing. So we'll go with C4. But actually A6, I see that even on the fourth move in these Queen's Gambit decline type of setups, people playing. What is... What... Who is Fuchsia answering? Amar. What, something's called Amar? Are you answering someone? Oh, Jim says Amar. Okay. What the heck is the Amar? Who is Amar? Good question. So now we've got our knight on a3, but he's given up his central pawn. It's like a trade-off. I'll trade you a central pawn for a bad knight on the side of the board. It's like wheeling and dealing. That's actually a good idea. You know how popular like Hearthstone is with World of Warcraft and online, you know, massive multiplayer role-playing game. If a card game like Hearthstone could be popular, we could have like a card game for chess. Probably a great idea. I'm just giving away all my great ideas. A card style chess game. I'll trade you a central pawn for a badly placed knight. B3. I could do the central pawn with d4, or I could centralize the bad knight, or I can play bishop g2 and complete the fianchetto. What do you guys think? It's a tough call. Life is difficult sometimes. Already exists, said Madramas, but there's a good one. You mean the card chess-based card game? But we don't do it with real cards. We need like an online Hearthstone, chess-style Hearthstone game. That's what we need, a good one. With real programmers, not like, you know, cheese.com. We don't want the programmer from cheese.com. That's like the owner's uncle or something. Whoever like did the layout for that site. It's like their 60-year-old uncle. He programmed the site in BASIC. Ammonium. Yeah, well, too much ammonium and you'll be asphyxiated. The knight on d5 is not protected. It's on the diagonal of death. Double fianchetto. Save your dogs. But now it's time. Now the e5 square is ripe. That will give him b5 with tempo, though. There also is a moment here for rook c1. Perhaps. Life is so difficult. Rook c1, queen a5. Drop my a pawn. Damn it. Rook c1, queen a5. Rook c1, b5. d4. Maybe I should castle first. Then b5. If my knight gets stuck out there, there's no getting back. I can also play knight a3 to c2. Rook c1. I guess I like this. Let's just start off with this theme. Cheese.com. Well, I've never been to the actual site. But you know what I'm talking about. I think that, like, you know, sinking like, you know, 6 figures into like buying a domain and then having like a crappy programmer design the site seems like a dumb idea, you know. I mean, you should probably, if you're going to put that much money into buying a domain, you ought to get like someone good to design it. But anyway, that's just my opinion. What do I know? B6, very restrained. And now we've got the d4. Yeah, I mean, lichess is not a commercial site. and that's good. But even if, it doesn't matter either way. Let's just say if you're doing a commercial site, like at least do it right, Don't try to cut corners by having your cousin Vinny like design the site. All right. Anyway, that's enough hate for today. I'll try to behave myself. Save a Dog. I can't get over how good he is. He's 1400 in Blitz. But he's always a tough fight. I mean, I don't know. I have a couple draws, a loss, but every single game we play is always like pulling teeth. I should go to dental school. More or less. Now we've got DC followed by knight d3. We seem to beat him to the kingside migration. Yeah, of course. I mean, lichess has a lot of people contributing to it. You can't compare it to a commercial site. A lot of people working, devoting their time and donating their energies to making lichess great. Yeah, even just saying making something great. Can't even say that anymore. Here we've got take on f7, sacrifice a piece. It's nice, but it's a little over the top. Misha. I'm not sure that's sound. Knight takes, check, king e8, speculative, piece sacrifice. I will give you guys a piece of advice. Don't make speculative sacrifices when you're behind on time. Yes, you can. Be like Tal. But practical advice, seriously, don't launch into complications when you have less time. It's a bad idea. All right, let's have fun. I got 2 pawns and an attack. This is not unsound, but it's speculative. And I think a risky continuation, but I didn't see anything great, and I want to have a little bit of fun. Saying a good example, do as I say, not as I do. Make speculative sacrifices when you have less time than your opponent. I mean, I'm sure like Stockfishes right now, like white has plus 14. The thing is, I'm not a computer, so that doesn't really matter, I mean, it can be, Stockfish can say it's plus 50, but I still, if I can't calculate perfectly, I mean, it's going to be hard. Dragon BC donated 1,000 bits. I guess he liked the sacrifice. It's unlike me to make speculative sacrifices. I'm getting more and more conservative in my ancient BC. In my ancient years. I became more conservative in chess and poker in the last 10 years, and I don't know if it's like age or what. I was much more risk taking. I guess that's just normal. I don't know. I mean, in poker, it's about money oftentimes, like how much money you have. But with chess, there's really no reason to be like afraid to take risks. I have a friend who's a poker and chess player, but he's very different from me. Like in poker, he's extremely conservative because he has no money. But in chess, he's like the opposite. He takes incredible risks. He's constantly sacrificing stuff. It's funny to see that sort of polar opposite style in 2 different games. You would think, they would play similarly stylistically in 2 different games, but the money makes a difference. I guess his natural style in poker would be more aggressive if he had more money to play with. Anyway, this looks good. White's better. We've got great pieces. He's playing down a rook, so looks good. I mean, there's more than one way to skin. an ocelot, I guess. Is that legal? Skinning ocelots? E4. How do we put him away here, by the way? Where's the knockout? I see some good moves, but nothing like really crushing completely. E4, E5. What are you waiting for? I don't know. There are other moves, like knight e6. Chirping sound coming from the other room. I suspect it's something, some sort of one of my mom's collected decorations, like bird ornament or something. It might be a real bird, though. There's a lot of birds outside, and you can't tell if it's a real bird or a fake bird. Welcome to the stream, guys. We're having fun here. Sacrificing a piece. There it is, h6. Shocking. A shocking and surprising blow. He's tied in knots. Acerbate is in heaven here. Oh, there goes the raccoon again. He keeps hitting that. He just keeps hitting that. That's the house sitter. Not used to his environment. I literally... I didn't see rook h7. That's such a weird move. Okay, knight here. Acerbate, what do you think? Just take the material? Always take. There's all sorts of good moves here. Bishop e5 almost wins a queen. Yeah, bishop e5 was an idea. We're having fun now. We're no longer sacrificing anything. We're sacrificing his pieces. Something good. Something good coming. Rook f7? You serial? He has rook f7 now? Bird. Play the bird. Bird is the word? Oh, I'm like panicking now. The bird is the word. I'm about to lose on time. How is this even a question? Rook e6. Do it. Play for mate in one. You know you want to do it. Play for the mate in one. Come on. Rook e6. He didn't do it. Queen e6 there. Where's my move? It's kind of awkward. Just a race. A race to the clock. I definitely didn't play this very accurately. But that's very hard for black to defend. I bet when we analyze this with the stockfish, it's going to be like black was 84 cent upon loss and white was like 68. We made 17 blunders. Bishop f7 and a6 was also playable. But I go for the king. Crazy game, too weird. Ferrum Lutzis. We've got close to an hour left for the stream. So there's still time for more challenges, guys. We lost some of our challenges. Did I get disconnected? And once again, thanks to Dragon BC and Big Money for your donations today, as well as who was it? Percy Hepworth. For everybody. Okay, so Ferrum Lutzis played it amazingly good. Game against me one was a simul, but I don't think I analyzed that. All right, let's move on. E4. I'm getting a lot of whites today. You have a game with 7 blunders and no inaccuracies. Go big. Go big, Asterbait. Absolutely. You challenge in case the queue is empty. Yeah, I mean, if there's no other challenges. Now black played A5, which is crab, essentially. Crab versus the lobster. I mean, if that's the way we're going to play. Lobster versus crab. I used to have a lot of games with FIDE Master Charles Hertan. We would do crab versus lobster. Six inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 1 blunder, 53 cent upon loss. That's pretty much basically what I figured. Something like that. Very strong move. G6. That looks about right. We'll try to get some center. So let's check his ratings. 1680 in bullet, 1700 in blitz, 1683 in rapid. It's interesting. He beat me very convincingly with perfect endgame play in our simul game. Let's see if that continues here in this game today. I don't know, I better play F3. Looks like black's going to play perfectly except for the first move, A5. That's what I predict. Rook H2 and E5. We'll give him one more chance. I don't know if we should close the center or not. He's used 15 seconds for the whole game so far. Well, there is an increment. I really hope I don't get crushed in this game. That's not going to feel good. That's not going to make me happy. Oh man, the phone's ringing again. This is the landline now. It's just unbelievable. It starts at about 5 o'clock. Usually I get about 3 or 4 calls on my mobile phone and then 2 or 3 on the landline. It's just sick. Jim, thanks for the donation. Yeah, I don't know who's getting trash compacted here. My setup's a little rickety. Black basically played perfectly except for A5. I think I've created more weaknesses than black. I'm not expecting too many mistakes here. G4, maybe bishop H3. He's ready to play F4, just like busting me. So perhaps I have to consider bishop G5. Not really what I want to do, honestly. But I think like kind of a matter of preservation, self-preservation, that H4 weakness. The telemarketers. It starts at 5 and it just goes on. What is disconcerting is when a telemarketer starts spoofing your own number to your home. Actually, that's a funny story. I heard about a famous Hungarian opera, maybe it was in Romania, director. Someone kept Kept calling the wrong number. It's a long story. I'm not going to tell you guys. One of the stories is just too long. Forget it. But basically, the thing was, the story was about this guy, this random guy kept getting calls, like in the old days, with like a landline for the wrong person. This famous like opera director. They kept calling his house for this famous opera director. And so he just basically would eventually, he would tell them it's not him, but eventually it just kept happening. So he eventually just kind of gave in and started saying, yeah, it's me, okay. And then one day someone called and he said he was this famous person, and they were like, no, you can't be, because I'm really him. That's the joke. The actual guy called him finally after he figured out what was going on, confronted him. I think I'm just going to resign this game. Maybe it's a little early to resign, but I think that's just going to have to happen in the not too distant future here. You can basically know the future. If you can see the oracle, read the oracle. See the future. I've got some tarot cards. You know, they're actually fortune telling playing cards. Gypsy Witch. I can see the future with these cards. Bishop takes g4. Not what I expected. Maybe I can't see the future. Bishop g4. Interesting. Kind of like black here. Nevertheless. Black seems a little underrated. Slightly. Can I take and play g5? Maybe. Still. I'm pretty wide open. Even if I win the exchange, I'm not sure this is all that safe for me. To be perfectly frank. Bishop c8, queen c8, and maybe black's still doing well? That's pretty sick. I can play king g3. That looks like what I'll have to do. Literally play bishop c8, queen c8, king g3, or rook g1. Instead, he just gave me a piece, which is odd. Didn't expect that. Using the cards before the game cheating. That was a very strange turn of events here in this game. I thought this was going to be a loss for me. Suddenly, he just gave me a piece. Weird. I did not expect that. He might have some counterplay. No, he allowed bishop e6 check now. Strange. One would think he would see that. Guess I got lucky in this one. He seems to have melted down there significantly. Missed something with knight takes a4. That was a weird ending. Not what we expected, according to the cards. But you can never trust the cards. Never know what's going to happen with those. Strange. Blobix, Wolfsing. Blobix, since you're a subscriber and you already played, I'm going to take your challenge like it was, you know, one of the non-subscribers. So giving up the exchange on c8, I'm probably winning. I have to be a little bit careful, but I thought that black had an advantage in that game. Like, there was no doubt I was a little bit overextended. And if black had played perfectly, I think I would have been basically toast. Luckily, he made some gross errors. All right. So we're playing Wolf Sync here. Let's play f4. There was a call for f4 earlier. Again, thanks to Jim, Dragon BC, Bloby, Percy Hepworth, everyone who donated today. Astrobate, Little Bits, f4, d5, the reverse Dutch. Let's try b3. Grandmaster. Grandmaster, what's his first name? Chernyshev. He has the greatest mustache in chess. He basically looks like Mario from Super Mario Brothers. Konstantin Chernyshev. One of the greatest mustaches in chess, anyway. He's short, too. Definitely reminds me of Mario. He will occasionally play f4 and b3. Famous game? You guys know it? Lasker Bauer. Bishop d3. Double bishop sacrifice on the king side. That's a slightly different position. Okay, so this transposed to a Bird Larsen attack. You don't know Lasker Bauer? Wow. Bishop b5 is just a straight up Nimzo with colors reversed. I had this like exact position against Josh Friedel, the young Josh Friedel, future Grandmaster from the United States. Our first meeting in a tournament game. I had a hard time taking him out. His white square bishop later developed quite a bit of power when I traded my bishop on c6, and I had to be careful. So I never played f4 on the first move, but I have played b3 on the first move, and I have played the Bird Larsen. I'm thinking I only played it with the b3 move order, but transposed. I lost a game in New Hampshire, no, Vermont, a tournament in Vermont to a 2100 once, which sticks out in my memory, where I played a Bird Larsen with white, but he played more actively, like a setup based on g6, bishop g7, and d4. Would you rather have to play the Dutch every time after d4 or play the Bird every game with white? You know, I used to think, Move 11, that the Dutch was more justified because white had committed the d4 and the e4, I mean, you know, the e4 square wasn't guarded. This is a bad move. But if you look at it mathematically with Stockfish, Stockfish is just like, nope, you know, f4 is a little better than the Dutch because you're white. And at the end of the day, I guess that matters. I used to have a philosophy that it would be worse, like the Birds was worse than the Dutch, because somehow d4 justifies f5 a little bit. But I guess, you know, an extra move is an extra move, so the Bird's better than the Dutch. Classic Nimzovich here. Chernyshev would like this. Chernyshev had a game against an American chess master, Justin Sarkar, at first Saturday Grandmaster tournament a couple years ago. I remember, I mean, I've played them both, and Sarkar somehow played like c4 in a some similar position to this, and basically sacked a pawn and got enough compensation against Constantine. But that's not always easy to do, to play this pawn sacrifice to liberate your bishop. This is basically dead piece, end of game, bad piece kind of thing in many cases. It happens in the Grand Prix attack. It happens in, you know, openings like the Nimzo, openings like the Gingy Indian. Roman Gingiashvili's favorite strategic concept is basically killing like the enemy bishop. This is a perfect example. I mean, it's not his concept. It's obviously kind of like a Nimzovich concept, but this desperate idea to sacrifice a pawn with c4, not so stupid. The Bird starts with minus anyway. Does it? I don't think I remember noticing that it was minus, but I guess it might be like minus 0.1 or something when you play f4. The Dutch is worse, though. It's like minus 0.3, minus 0.4 for black. Whereas the birds is only like minus 0.1. Interesting move, knight g4 now. So Wolfsing, active. Always a very sensitive point in the Dutch. So yeah, mathematically the birds is better than the Dutch. You obviously have more choices, though. When you're black against the bird, you can play f4, e5 and get an e5 based structure. I don't think like the Staunton Gambit is very good for white. You know, d4, f5, e4. My philosophy with the Dutch and openings like, you know, obviously this is a great idea for black, f5. Getting a little bit of space in an otherwise very cramped position here for black. If I play c4, we're going to have minor issues. So I think this is a pretty brilliant idea. Maybe I best not play c4. Best not. h3. Weakening my king side. Well, I'm not saying the Staunton Gambit loses or anything. No, I mean, the thing is, okay, it's just like kind of like the Mora Gambit. I mean, I think that it's only good enough for equality, but it's totally playable and practically, you know, can be a very good system. But what I wanted to say was when you play black side against the birds, or if you play the white side of a Dutch, I think the moral of the story is if the opponent achieves e4 against the Dutch or e5 against the birds opening, he's essentially called your entire opening into question. If white achieves e4 in a Dutch, if black achieves e5 against the birds opening, he's like, hey, you know what? I just gained control over that square, the key square you're trying to control for a move 1. So your opening essentially is a bust. But the Staunton Gambit, like, you're trying to play e4 right away. I mean, you're basically sacking a pawn. It's a little bit over the top, but it's still good enough for it to be playable. Wolfsing, interesting player. Knight e5, and now I'm basically committed to g4. This is like a lot like that first game I talked about I had against the young Friedel, where my white square has got kind of weird. He's got bishop e8, bishop h5. I'm going to play g4 at some point. Like now, maybe. I was very tempted to play c4 earlier, but for those of you who are paying attention carefully to the strategy here, I think that c4 might be bad, because if I play c4, he suddenly has a very legitimate a5, a4. And if I don't play c4, when he plays a5, I can play a4 and lock the queen side without having to worry about my b3 pawn being weak. It's an extremely kind of subtle but important pawn structure consideration here. So while c4 is like Nimzowitschian, yeah, blockade, if you want to play that plan, you probably need the knight on c3 and be able to go like full-on Nimzowitsch. Knight c3, knight a4, bishop a3, Nimzo type of plan. The Grob is the only opening clearly refuted. Well, I agree with MVL. You know, it seems like the Grob is probably like the worst opening. You know, of all the name openings that exist in theory, I always agree with that. It seems like the Grob just basically sucks. You know, you're just weakening too much. You could probably make a case. I don't know what Stockfish says, but it would be interesting to compare like f3 with g4. Which is worse? The what is f3? Does that have it? It must have a name, right? I'm sure Fuchsia knows. What's one f3 called? Is it worse than g4? It's probably worse. But I mean g4 just weakens stuff really bad. So, but notably, I was playing somebody on my stream like a year ago, maybe, and I don't know who it was. I think, no, I just can't clearly remember who it was. A pretty good player, like a 2100 level lichess player, and they played g4 against me, and I played d5, and then they played c4. Was it g4? or maybe not c4, but g4, d5, sorry, g4, d5, e3. They made some sort of like waiting move. They didn't play bishop g2 right away. It sort of threw me. That might be a better way to play the Grob. Now that we're here on weird openings, we're on the subject of weird openings. We'll discuss the proper way to play the Grob. I don't know where to put my king. Proper Grob. It was a good and proper Grob. What do you guys say in the UK? Let's just take this. Use the G file. No easy way here. Queen h5. My English accent is almost as bad as my American tournament director imitation. He gave him a good and proper grobbing. Grobbing, verb. The playing of g4 with proper effect. Magnus played f6, king f7 to d6. And what kind of time control was that? Man, Wolfsing is an interesting player. They seem to know no openings, but then morph into really kind of tough. Grobbing knob. It was... We'd have to come up with some good British way of saying proper grob. Give it a good proper grobbing. Yeah, American. It's not funny if you're talking about an American way of saying, describing a good game in the grob. Just nothing funny about that. Look at this rook a7. He like morphs from a player who doesn't know anything in the opening to a really tough player. It's weird. Bishop e8, rook a7, like total coordination, perfect defense. How can Wolfsing not know openings? The rest of his game is so solid. I told you guys the joke about this time I played in a Romanian, actually in Transylvania, in more of a Hungarian town, in a pub, and there was this random guy who had a chessboard, or there was a chessboard there, and challenged me to a game. And, you know, I didn't want to act like a macho, you know it all, and it was just a casual game. So when he set up the board like sideways with the dark squares on the wrong side, I didn't want to be like, yeah, okay, I'm a genius and everything, and I'm an expert. I didn't even correct him. I just was gonna like just play, whatever, you know. I don't care if the colors are set up wrong. It's just an informal game in a pub, you know. So, but the funny thing was that the guy, he basically outplayed me, you know, and I ended up losing. I mean, that was weird, you know, to play someone who literally doesn't know how to set up the board right, but he was so good that he was able to beat me, you know, international master. I mean, that's pretty disturbing. Yeah, like a hustler thing, but he wasn't a hustler. Like, he literally didn't know how to, it wasn't for money, you know? I mean, this guy, I mean, there's like a 1%, you know, less than a 1% chance he did it for fun or something, you know, but I just played badly. I was a little bit, you know, intoxicated or something. I don't know, you know, and then I didn't take him seriously enough. How can you take someone seriously when they don't know how to set up the board right? There's basically no chance, you know? That was amazing. So Wolfsing kind of lost the focus here, but still it's not over. Oh, we have knight c6, bishop d4, knight d8, and we go into rook endgame up 2 pawns. Pawn. 2 pawn. Dream grob. Bishop g1 check, I missed it. Did you get your dream grob? I heard you were applying for your dream grab, but they didn't give it to you because you're dyslexic. That's just too stupid. It's fun to be stupid, though. You guys come for the humor. Stay for the chess. Now, Wolfsing is grobbing tough. He's going to hang tough. Down 2 pawns in a rook in game. Well, the English guys aren't laughing. Just Bob. Percy Hepworth left. I can't take that anymore. Nefedov didn't even bother to show up. It just sounds normal to them. It's like Wallace and Gromit. Does anybody here like Wallace and Gromit? Wallace and Gromit do chess. Wallace and Gromit play the Grob. Too many pawns. This is the momentum kicking in. Playing out of momentum. Willie H. Pawn. Blobix. Okay, guys, I got time for these last 2 games. We're going to play Blobix last. Demetrius was challenging before. Blobix is on his 2nd game. He's greedy. But that's going to be our last game. Let me challenge Blobix to the last game. He's tough. Both of these are European players. They're both going to be up all night. Okay, weird opening. Terrible game. It wasn't that terrible. You just played terrible at the end. You fell apart at the end. Care to bet? Winner donates $1. I'm getting hungry. Hungry hippo. I should play the hippo. Sicilian. I have a terrible score with the wing gambit here. What can we do? G3 is just another closed Sicilian. Almost everything is a closed Sicilian, isn't it? Anything but. Where's Fuchsia? The C3 Sicilian. Alright, we'll do knight A3. The Zweigentsev variation. I'm inspired. I think I actually played this in a couple of games. When it was trendy, I was jumping on the bandwagon just for fun. Now, I don't know what the theory says about A6 now. I mean, it does seem kind of logical to play A6. C3 or knight C4. Blobby with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700. Blobby, thank you. Do we migrate to the center or do we play a C3 Sicilian? Alright, we're going to go with C3. How am I going to defend my pawn, by the way, on E4 if I do that? Well, let's do a migration. The squirrel network. I don't know, Jack Young had some opening like knight A3 and the knight going to C2, and he called it the squirrel, I thought. Like knight A3, C3, knight C2 right away. The squirrel grabbing a nut and squirreling it away on C2. This is the Zweigentsev, yeah. Didn't you say before the FMs are trash unless they're old? Well, that's, you're kind of not really saying what I said. You should be like a White House press reporter or something. Actually, d5 here. That's a weird move. No, I said that in the old days, to become an FM, you had to have 27 games to maintain a rating of 2300 for 27 games. So an FM was necessarily pretty strong. Yeah, whereas nowadays, you just have to like pop over 2300 for like 1 millisecond. And a lot of people do that who are basically like 2150s. Or maybe like they just get their first rating and it's like inflated because they had a lucky result or something. So yeah, I mean, in general, that's kind of the gist of what I was saying, but you're not exactly saying it right. You added spice. Interesting story Peter Spidler told me once. Okay, I'm waiting. We're waiting in anticipation of the story. Always, Spidler stories are always good. E takes d5, queen d5, knight b6. Queen e6 check, resigns. Going over here. I would do that sometimes. I mean, I used to be kind of mean. But I would only do this with people who I didn't like for a concrete reason. Okay? But I would pick up a piece and pretend I was going to move it somewhere. Just sort of tease them. Like in this case, knight b6. And just sort of put it like hanging over the square. And then like look at them and sort of smile and put it back like somewhere else. But I swear I would never do that against anyone normal. I would only do that against someone who did something bad or made me hate them for some reason. You know, I'm not mean to people like just for sport. Unless they wronged me somehow, you know. Or did something really annoying like repeatedly offering draws. The touch rule, Bob, it's touch, you know. Touch and move, let go of it. If you touch it, you have to move it, but you don't have to move it like, you know, you only have to move it where you let it go. Once a certain grandmaster picked up a knight and like tried to move it in an L shape, then put it back and said, I adjust. Okay? You can't do that. You know, if you pick it up, you have to move it. You don't have to leave it there until you let go, but you still have to move it. Fuchsia. Vadim Zvagintsev played this against, the knight a3 against Halifman Russian Super Final successfully. Impressed by that, many Russian players decided to give this opening a go. Moscow Super Blitz. The opening has been played 8 times on that day. 3 times by Spidler, who never played it before or after that day. It's fun. I saw the first person I saw play it was Shabalov at the US Open in 2006. And it was played against me by an American NM, this guy Seth Homa. That was both those games were in 2006, so I noticed it then. Interesting here is G3 going for the long diagonal. Touch rule. Yep. As my friend Jorge Samor Hasbon says, you touch a movie, you break, you pay. Or you can convert it to you break it, you buy. You break, you buy. Touch a movie, break, you pay. But the one time someone tried to cheat against me, that player I told you about, luckily I had a witness. Well, Bob, the greatest bluff I ever did, I did by accident. Bishop takes c6 here is a little over the top. So, it's interesting though. I played this tournament, regular tournament in Hastings in England, and I've told this story before. Maybe Bob's heard it, but most of you haven't. So, gotta be careful here. I was playing this game against an older master. The guy was probably pushing 70, maybe even slightly over 70, but still a solid player, I guess, around 2300-ish. So we were playing a Bogo Indian. I was white, and he had his queen on e7 on move 4, defending his bishop on b4. But later the queen got buried with d6, typical of that opening. It was just sitting on e7. I don't know, the bishops had been exchanged, and I forgot that he played queen e7. So I was white, and there was this one point in the opening, I don't know, maybe around move 10, move 12. I was sitting there, and he was like taking forever to make his move. I mean, it was like 20 minutes, and it was like move 10 or move 12. At some point, I didn't even like look at the clock. I had been walking around. At some point, I came back to the table after walking around for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes waiting for this guy to make his move. I didn't even look at the clock. I just sat down and I decided, okay, he played Queen E7. So I sat down, I like wrote down Queen E7 on my score, started thinking, and after about 3 minutes, I reached out and I went to make a move. And the guy's like, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? I'm making my move. He said, you already made a move. That's your second move. I was like, oh, my bad. Sorry. I thought it was my turn. And it was like, I just, I just totally went into space and I thought that it was my turn again. So I tried to make 2 moves in a row. The guy, he was like totally stunned. He's never in his life, in his like 50-year chess career, had someone try to make 2 moves in a row, let alone like, a FIDE master strength player. And so the gist of it was, after that, I played brilliantly and like crushed him in a positional game. But I mean, how could he take me seriously if I don't even know whose turn it is? And that's the gist of the story that was later written by a friend of mine. He wrote about the story in an article. He said that basically it was an intentional trick, that I had sort of done it on purpose to make the guy think that I was an idiot, Guys, last game, no more time, Funny Matter Jim. I've got to go. This is our next to last game. We've got one last game against Blobix, and that's it for today. That was our last funny story for today, too, guys. I'm running out of energy, but I think I actually did it again in the US Open or some tournament. A second instance where I tried to make 2 moves in a row, but it was just kind of like a haha, we just blew it off sort of thing. Have I lost today? I hope not. Once I made a pre-move over the board. Oh, dude. I mean, I get people who do that, and I get pissed about it. You get those people who are in time pressure. It's totally incorrect. But they'll try to, like, make their move, like, as soon as you make your move, like, before you even press the clock kind of thing. Like, that's illegal. I mean, if I go to make my move and you're, like, making your move before I have time to hit the clock, you've got to give me time to... I've got to be able to press my clock before you can make your move. I'll go ballistic if someone does that. Rook b8. And now... he overlooked... nothing. Queen h5. Okay, I have no time. So what's up here? What are we doing? What's he doing? Where are we? Whose move is it? I don't know. I forgot. Make your opponent think you're an idiot. It was huge. It was huge. I should do that more often on purpose. Reverse psychology. Very standard. What would Nezhmadinov do? I don't know, but I'm in massive time pressure. Wow. This is getting kind of weird. I wanted to play f4, but it's too weakening. I just gave up. Dimitrilas. Man, this guy beat me the last time. That was Simul. He's got a pretty good score. Look at that. 16.5. I mean, that kind of score... mostly Simul games, though. But still, that kind of score normally... you've got to be around 2100 at least. Happened to you with the FIDE Master Rapid Tournament? He was playing before I pressed the clock. So I played e45, knight f3, knight bishop b5, a6, bishop c6, knight f6, bishop a4, thanks. That's pretty funny. I mean, I can't stand that when people try to like cheat the time and move on your clock. I don't stand for any of that. Guys, thanks for joining me. Tomorrow night we're gonna be hosting our subscriber stream here on lichess. Nowhere else. Dimitrilas finally kind of caved there. Nick Cave. Not a bad cave though. It looks like kind of a good cave. But I think I'm justified in sacrificing a pawn here. No time. Here we go again, Bloby. Which rook? Counterintuitive. A rook. Which rook is the right rook? And which rook is the wrong rook? There is no right or wrong. I took with the wrong rook. Definitely don't want to trade both rooks here. You might as well just shake hands. Mikhail Botvinnik believed in the doubled pawns and the d5 square. And I'm with him on that. We're not dead yet. We're not completely dead yet. Dimitrilas with a great game. I mean, seriously, dude. Seriously, dude. You're killing me. Maneuvers. Man, he's playing well. Gave up that d5 square, but he's still super solid. Black's like microscopically worse here. It's really not worth it. Too much hard work to win this game. Wow, that's a risky move. He allows me on the 7th. Now he's on the verge of lost. I guess he's probably close to lost now. Just dropped his f7. The f7 nugget. Collapsing. Definitely bringing back memories for Bloby. From earlier. More or less the same exact position. We just don't want to trade rooks. You can't take it with you. I like to joke about this, the material or whatever. Egyptian school of materialism. Take it with you. I've got to break through. Material is not that significant ops color bishop positions. It's initiative. But it does help to be up a pawn. I might need to sack in exchange. I would consider sacking in exchange here. For that kind of breakthrough I talked about earlier in regard to the exchange sacrifice to create a second extra pawn. Essentially. Can I improve my position here? Your turn. This is tough though. We need Karpovian-like technique. Rook a7 again. King d6. Hard to penetrate there. Okay. I guess we try h5 now. Don't want to trade pawns. Uh-oh. Was this even a good move? Now he's done. Stick a fork in him. Last game, Bloby. We didn't have to sack an exchange. Got our free pawns. This is pretty hard to defend now. Two connectors. Three connectors. I thought rook a8 was a good defensive try there for black. I think I crossed his plans. We're basically trying to keep everything corralled. This is really like too many pawns. Great defense. It's crazy intense. He defends like his life depended on the game. Finally, he caved in. My God. How could he just be 1800? That was insane defense by black. 66 moves. Man, that was tough. 2 a.m. tomato soup. Oh my God. The French Red Bull. Wow, last game. Another super strong 1800. Weird openings. All right. Last game for today. What are we going to play? Let's do the Nimzovich. Knight f3. Well, I don't want to just transpose. Your 2 a.m. walnut ice cream. Nice choice, Fuchsia. The 2 a.m. walnut ice cream. Walnut like walnut with vanilla. Guys, killing me. I haven't had my dinner yet. You're killing me. That sounds good. I'll take the walnut ice cream over tomato soup. Have I played the Scandinavian much in tournament games? Yeah, move 11. I played a lot, but not queen takes d5. All with knight f6. I only have like a couple games with queen a5 and like a lot of games with knight, knight f6. But I don't recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining. And thanks for the donations. Particularly big money with a really generous 3166 Streamlabs streaming donation. Hard to spit it out. Actually, H3. it could just transpose to an h3 Pierce. I had the same game against the Serbian IM in 2017 December in a tournament here in Budapest. Here, I'm in USA now, but I'm normally in Budapest. We had a tournament in the end of 2017, a GM tournament. Now I can't remember the guy's name. Sladgie played black against me in this line. This wasn't the exact move order. Now Blobix plays g3, so it's like a hybrid. That's probably reasonable for white, but typically you put the knight on e2 in the Fianchetto Pierce. Interesting idea here might be like d5. Ironically. I did a series on queen e6, but I only played that like one time in a tournament game, move 11. It was a big fashion for a while, so I got on the bandwagon doing the series on queen e6 because it was really just arriving back then. This is kind of a surprise here, bishop e3. The last time I played the black side of a Pierce, I lost to Quang Liem in a GM tournament in Budapest. A really bad game, because I don't really play the Pierce. I played it, it was like my first defense actually, when I was starting out, until I was about, I played the Pierce literally until I was about 1800, maybe even less. Maybe I played the Pierce up until, well, I did keep it as a backup opening. I played the Pierce up until I was probably 2200, but only once in a while. But I mean, it's one thing to play it once in a while, it's another thing to play it against a guy who's playing like 2600 strength chess. Bishop e3. Yeah, Quang Liang played a g3, a proper g3 with the knight on e2 though, which I like with white too. This transposed into a kind of a mainline opening here. So e d4, knight d4, bishop d4, rook e8, castles. But black remains like slightly worse there. How do I exploit the knight on f3 versus e2? That's the question. Rook e8. Karpov had games with Timon in Pierce. We played g3. One really great game where Karpov just positionally crushed him. But a completely, different position. I don't know here, guys, what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to take advantage of the knight on f3 somehow. So how do you do that? Could I play d5? I don't see how that would work. I don't see how black has this knight e4, d5, no tricks. Basically trying to reinvent the wheel here. How can I take advantage of his knight being on f3 instead of on e2? I just don't know. I don't see it. Rook e8 wouldn't even do anything. I mean, he could just play castles. Doesn't seem to be any point to it. No, I just spent a lot of time for nothing. He even pre-moved. I think Boris Pribman says 98. I love Boris Pribman. He's a great guy. Now we're going to transpose to my game with Quang Liang, probably. I could. The knight would be, yeah, this would be the game, right? Like, theory, probably. Rook e8, pretty standard. It's probably in the database somewhere. I don't know the theory. Blobix is suspicious. His rating is suspicious. He refused to play in the 5-3 tournament, even though the 5-0 tournament yesterday, even though he's faster than me. But he's suspicious 1844, but 2100 in wait, 1844 in rapid? That makes even less sense. Why are you 1844 in rapid? That's ridiculous. Rook e8. Well, it's basically the Pirts and the Philidor are the same thing, right? Just a question of where your bishop is. I mean, I just know old lines here. I don't remember what I did against Quang Liam. The classic rook e5, rook h5 maneuver. My theory is 30 years old. I want to try to play rook e5, rook h5. Smack him down. Queen c8, rook e5, rook h5. Raccoons are hungry. Getting in the trash cans. Man. Cereal eaters. Should be a moratorium eating. A moratorium on eating while I'm doing my live stream. I don't want to hear other people eating while I'm starving. It makes it all the more painful. Anyway, guys, a4. Okay, so we start the process. Start the process. d5. No. Let's try to do some kind of craziness, huh? Knight e5. Knight e5 is interesting. Probably unsound. Rook e5. f4. It's all theory. I don't know it. This is like an old variation, probably. But it would be good to know what you're doing. To actually know what you're doing. I think against Quang Liam I got this far and then didn't have a clue what I was doing and lost pretty badly. I don't have a clue how he tricked me into playing the black side of a Pirts though. Don't remember. Because I don't play the Pirts. Maybe I played d4 g6 against him. That must have been what it was. That's what it was. Quang Liam played d4, and all the Vietnamese players were like playing d4 and bishop g5. And so I assumed he would be afraid to play e4, but he just played d4, g6, e4. And I was forced to play the black side of some sort of Pirts and went into this. I do want to get in d5 move 11 though. That's a good idea. Now fortunately Blobix is using his time. That's lucky. So the knight blocks the e4 and the d5 squares. Yeah, that's a good point. It's not doing any more though. When I played knight takes d4, I mean e takes d4, I just basically transposed to main line. I didn't see how to take advantage of the knight though. I mean, it's a variation. People do play this with white, but there's got to be a reason why people put the knight on e2, not on f3. Exactly. I just can't see what it was. So now we just, like, you know, full on mother of Mamedyarov. We got to do it. Bishop g4, pawn takes e3. Is there enough there? The mother of Mamedyarov. It doesn't look like we really have enough compensation for this. But at least we go down swinging. Now my queen's on the wrong square. Knight d4, queen h4. That's a perfect hustler spot, you know. If you're like a Washington Square Park hustler, you can play queen h4 here. Probably you play knight takes d4, bishop d4, and queen h4. And you just like deny it if they say that your queen was on c8. But seriously, go for structure. Knight d4. Positional sacrifice. Unsound. An unsound positional sacrifice. The highest level. My queen does belong on d8 now. I have the feeling I did the same thing against Quang Liam. It's so funny, like how history repeats itself. I probably sacrificed a rook unsoundly against him too. Ironic. I just forgot, like I did that. If you don't give it the center, and what? If you don't give the center and play rook e8 instead, White plays d5. And he doesn't even have to play d5, it looks like. You know, it's just an option. He can play d5 or just not play d5. Because I'm not actually threatening anything, it looks like. It's kind of funny. Practical and unsound chess here. Closing out Weird Wednesday with a totally incorrect piece sacrifice. In the spirit of the modern Benoni. Next stream tomorrow, 5:30. Don't forget. The modern baloney. Oh, you have knight f4. That's alright. That's good. It's all good. He's slow. He's 1800. Raccoons are getting restless. Our only hope is to like take him out on the clock. Basically. We're in a lot of trouble here. Now where? H4 or H6? H6? Well, that would have prevented Queen G4 if I had gone to H4. Gotta keep him off of D5. Oh, he's trying to trade pieces. Wow. Hard to avoid that exchange. Systematic trader. Mommy, I'm scared. Let me out of here. This guy's not only good, but he's fast too. I mean, I don't understand how you can be 1800, man. How are you 1800? Really? Wow. 1800. Okay, I gave you a piece, but still. How many pawns do I have for this piece again? How many pawns for a piece? I can't catch up on the clock. Fanatic Chess is hosting. This is no moment to host me. I'm toast. Host with the toast. Man, it was a lifeless game by me. Just groveling. Hoping to win on time. Grovel. Finding more threats. Check him out. Now we need a miracle. Now another threat. Guys, get ready for the... Oh my god, my stuff's hanging. It's like that other swindle today. I thought we were gonna have another bishop, another bishop and knight. The second, good night, Fuchsia. Another bishop and knight swindle. So here I lose on time if it's like a lichess blitz game or something. Man, good swindle. That was an easy draw. I mean, I had it all the way. Anyway, guys, thanks for the stream. I'll be back tomorrow night. Knight e2, g2. I think my rook was hanging. My god, did that work? Oh, the previous move. Well, knight e2, g2. It was good. And then I hallucinated that it mattered that my... Is it good for black? I don't know. I mean, he also had rook a8 check. He should have forced me to play bishop f8. I'm not going to complain. It was a lucky result. Yeah, knight c6 equalized on move 1. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And thanks from the Macro Panda. We'll be back tomorrow with a subscriber stream. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting the stream. Take care. Later. Good games.